Yo, it was a big day today, and a lot happened, and it's something that would not have happened if it weren't for a text message that I got. A text message that I got only because all of us are doing what we're supposed to be doing. When we see something out of place in the terms of movement, send the bat signal. So I had my notifications turned off, but I checked my phone, I had a text message, and the text message said, they're calling for you. And attached to it, I had some screenshots of the bat signal on a post from the CrossFit Games Instagram page.
I'm coming for you. We have a signal now. But when that light hits the sky, it's not just a call. It's a warning. Fear.
So I go hop on the old Instagram, on the CrossFit Games page, tap on the most recent button, and then it brings up CrossFit Thor doing his quarterfinal workouts. First thing he does are some muscle ups, and I'm looking at the muscle ups.
There was one name though that jumped off the leaderboard, and that's CrossFit's Thor Clearly. He put up a massive
muscle ups don't look too bad. He is pressing away from the rings, but it does appear as if his shoulders are over the top as he hits extension of the elbows, and I go, hopefully this isn't what they were using the bat signal for. I don't want to look at a bunch of bats, have to say that, yeah, see, but goes on and he hits a clean. I go, holy shit, the dude is super strong.
He maxed out a 415-pound clean in only 2 lifts.
But we know that the dude is very, very strong. His name is CrossFit Thor, right? Then it gets over to his overhead squat. I'm watching him go, looking for something bad, and he doesn't hit depth.
Building to a 353-pound overhead squat, and
the hip crease does not pass below the knee. You can see it when you pause it.
53 pounds over.
Yeah, it's really heavy, but the CrossFit Games Instagram page should be putting out the best movement. Everybody knows that they're looking for the best movement, not just the heaviest lifts. And yes, this is one of the heavier lifts, but it also isn't one of the best squats. It isn't even a squat below parallel, which is what it says you need to do everywhere we've ever read it. Flips over to the bench press. New movement that everyone is really zeroing in on. I have a huge history of the bench press. I love bench pressing. I noted how I benched 300 pounds as a senior in high school, weighing 140 pounds. I love the bench press. I follow powerlifting. I know the rules. I thought it was weird that they said you couldn't pause it on your chest. I thought maybe they should have said you had to pause it on your chest. That doesn't matter. What it did say is that you were not allowed to bring your hips up off the bench. That's a well-renowned rule everywhere. Watching the bench press, you can see that his hips clearly come off of the bench.
With a 360-pound bench. To be throwing those numbers around and remaining competitive across the board,
you don't even need to pause it. But you know what? I did slow it down. And you can see the hips come up and off the bench. So here I go into the comments section. I go to the comments section, and you can see that he says that his hamstrings came off the bench, but his butt did not. This is what happened next. What'd you think? Was that pretty cool? We all know that in real life that wouldn't happen. The God of Thunder would destroy Batman. He literally controls lightning. Batman's got a utility belt. What Batman does have is Robin, and all of you guys are the reason that we were brought here. The Robins of the world. You know, we guys throw the bat signal, I get the text message, and now we're here talking about it on the channel. And before we move forward, it's going to be very important to talk about the announcing that's going on during this whole deal. So there is a reporter or somebody behind the camera who is talking about Griffin Rowley's performance, and other than the fact that the repetitions don't count on both the overhead squat and on the bench press, what you need to think about is the fact that she has no idea what she's going on. She clearly didn't compete in quarterfinals, which is okay, but it also doesn't even look like she did any research, or maybe even doesn't do CrossFit. When she says something as out of the air as, it only took him 2 lifts to get there in a 30-minute window.
He maxed out a 415-pound clean in only 2 lifts.
It's like, well, yeah, because he warmed up the clean like every single person did in the world before they started the workout. That's not anything that's out of control. Anybody who has half a brain was going to do that. And you're going to have the person who's broadcasting this for the CrossFit world hear you say something as dumb as, and it only took him 2 lifts to hit 407.
In only 2 lifts.
It's like, no, he spent probably an hour and a half warming up, and then he unloaded the bar and reloaded the bar like every other single person who competed in the quarterfinals this past weekend. Is it because they've had a nice voice? Do I not have a nice enough voice to be on a CrossFit Games channel? I don't know. Maybe it's because I let swears go. Wouldn't let me on live TV either if that was the case, if it's the swearing thing, because I just let them go sometimes, and I apologize for the letting them go sometimes. I gotta find somebody who can at least do CrossFit who has a nice voice, somebody who knows what the events are, who knows that they're not, you know, oh, here we go, walked into the gym, and I'm going to do 400 pounds, and then I'm going to do 407 pounds, and I'm CrossFit Thor. Having that sort of commentation just does the absolute worst for your community when this is the thing that everyone's going to be seeing. Possibly the first time they ever click on CrossFit, they're going to click on this and go, okay, but they had a 30-minute workout, and even I know that they didn't do that in 2 lifts. I knew it took them a bunch of lifts to get there. And remember, guys, this is never about the athlete that is being spoken of. The athlete is merely somebody who is in a position that is super uncomfortable for that athlete. So Griffin Raleigh, CrossFit Thor, nothing against him. Don't go out and say anything to the guy because he didn't do it on purpose. And he definitely isn't the one who posted it to the CrossFit Games page. Whoever posted this to the CrossFit Games page would have likely had to have gone to Adrian Bosman, who we are calling for in that comment section. Adrian Bosman, we know that you know what it's supposed to look like. And where are you? We know you don't run the page. We know that it doesn't funnel down through you, but at some point, somebody has to check the tech department over at CrossFit and say, hey, the stuff that we're putting out for the world to see better be some of the best stuff.
They know. They just don't care.
I plugged in the clips of Guy Malheiros because he was moving awesome. That's the type of stuff that you would think that the world would want to see. Like, yes, those were heavy lifts that CrossFit Thor put out there, but they were also heavy lifts that Guy put out. And the lifts that Guy put out, his hips did not move an inch on that bench press. He was like a foot below parallel on the overhead squat. Super mobile position, super clean on the clean that he did, which was at 407, stupid heavy, and looked awesome. I just don't know why that's not the stuff that they would have put out there. I mean, sure, he didn't win the event, but he's a very marketable dude as well. Like, he's marketable and he was moving better. I think it's a win-win in that case, right? So to bridge off of the fact that we don't want to be getting after Griffin Raleigh here, we also don't want to be getting after one another in the comment section. I did see some nasty talk in there. I was looking around. All I'm trying to do is I'm trying to bring a light to the situation. We want to call out the stuff that isn't looking so hot. And I may be calling out a couple of media, newspaper, video chat type people for not really saying it how it is, but there's always a way to be talking about things. And the media people, they got to realize that I'm the guy in his garage that can say whatever he wants. And I don't think it's a very good idea for these media people to be going on their platforms, their little icons that say their company's names, and they're going to be talking at people in a way where it's rather aggressive. And I mean, it's okay to defend yourself, but you know what's even better? Do what most people do and just don't say anything at all. If you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. I am a solo person doing whatever he wants. That's a cool thing for me. I don't have a little news desk. I have a little computer and a little camera, and I just make these little videos and I can say whatever I want. But generally, I either choose to say nothing or I go about it in my own way, where I'm not trying to be very aggressive. Passive-aggressive, maybe at the very worst. Excessive sarcasm is one of my favorites. Misdirection. And I like to do this thing where I undercut myself. So someone says something about me, like, you're really short, and I go, yeah, I got ran over by a car when I was 4 years old, and I was really never supposed to be any taller than 4'2", but here I am at 5'9", and this is just the best version of myself. And then when you do that sort of thing, they start to feel really bad about themselves for calling you short in the first place. It's like, oh my God, he was hit by a freaking car. What is wrong with me for saying this about this person? Just a method of mine. If you want to be something big, sometimes you got to take it on the chin. Elon Musk's platform. Go look at his Twitter profile, and he never just like slammed somebody or attacks their character or attacks their opinions. And they definitely don't write paragraphs back at people. It's not a good look, especially on the internet. Especially if you're a company putting out content for CrossFit, I don't think it's a good look. Remember why we're doing this. We're doing this because we love the sport. We're doing this because we want to hold everyone to a high standard. We're doing this in particular because we don't want this to be what's seen when some people's first sight on CrossFit could be this. And they go, okay, is that below parallel? Oh, that's what I'll do. Or, okay, they said don't move your hips, but he's moving his hips, so maybe I can move my hips a little bit and then I can get away with it. And then all of a sudden we've got kipping bench presses and then the world is going to burn. Because nobody wants to kip bench presses. I was excited that they're going to be here. Now they're never going to be here ever again because everyone's going to be kipping their bench presses. Let's not do that. Let's keep the bench press. Let's keep the hips on the bench. It's not hard. So keep on shooting the bad signal out. I think that this is going to do something. Clearly, it brought a bunch of people into one spot. The goal is for CrossFit to see this, and then they need to do something to make it better. Hopefully, they look over the videos in the future, and they put out good stuff. And they quit giving me reasons to talk shit on the internet. Like this sort of thing, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, send this video to some people. CrossFit Thor, nothing personal. Like I always say, it wasn't about you, and it wasn't your fault you were posted there, and it wasn't your fault that all of the freaking Robins in the world just threw the freaking bat signal, and all of a sudden there's 120 freaking comments there with little bats everywhere. But that's what happens when you don't do the movement as well as you could be doing the movement. Andrew Hiller, out.